difficult for this sheriff. He was choked up at many times throughout the morning. He knew this sergeant very, very well personally. As for how they tracked down this gunman's identity, well, they found some evidence at the scene, and they were able to match that with his name. That led them to the house in Newbury Park, about 6 miles away from here. And I understand that they were trying to confirm his identity with a fingerprint, and it sounds like they were able to confirm his identity one way or the other, because that's how the sheriff was able to release his name.
各位观众，大家好！现在是一个突发事件，在加州发生了枪战。现在我们正在直播啊，已经认识一个人，叫做龙男。
And so, what do we know so far about what's this house in Newbury Park that it seems like police are searching?
这是一个正在发生的事情现在我正在直播中，大家正在看一个热点事件，正在直播中。这个我们是海外华人直播，正在直播连线一个直播事件。
Sheriff Dean mentioned. He mentioned that last April, as you pointed out, there was some kind of altercation. Mental health specialists arrived there to sort of take a look at him and talk to him, and that a 5150, they called it, was not secured. Now, for those of us in New York and across the country, explain what 5150 is.
Yeah, 5150 is the code that police officers use to describe a person who is essentially not in their right mind, who is not responding in normal ways, and that's to warn fellow officers who are coming about what they are about to encounter. So we're learning more about this individual.
那么这个事件呢，是认为是一个5150是51和对50的这种情况也因为这是没有正常反应的情况这个这样是人在有点精神毛病。他在酒店里面大规模的杀人。
Generally, when these sorts of things happen, people will say, "Look, there's an individual who may have had some mental issues." Now, of course, you.
那这个人呢，可能是有点精神毛病。那么发生的这个人已经杀人了。
Of signs were missed. This 5150 was not secured. They felt that it wasn't necessary in this case. Will that be something that is taken a look at?
Rest assured, and I can tell you right now, Vlad, assures that we are sitting here or standing here right now. That's happening as we speak. And that's going to be closely scrutinized as to how he got past the 5150. And for our viewers to understand,
现在我们在加利福尼亚，
psychological analysis, and it looks to whether someone
是在一个酒店里面发生的。
Very, very in-depth look. Across the country, it's also known as a Baker Act, and various states call it a different thing, but it's the same thing.
那这现在正在发生的事情呢，我们大家
to involuntarily commit.
在评论员说，他说我们正在此时在谈话的时候，很多事情正在发生。他说我们正在，他们这并不是一个普通的谈话
You know, so and there are a variety of reasons for that. So when they say he's cleared, you can be sure. That's going to go. Law enforcement's going to go back right now. They're going to look at that. They're going to interview everybody, and they just said the FBI.
那么那个警方现在对现场的人都要反过来，每个人都要问。
What does the fact that he's a veteran, a former Marine, say to you?
Well, I think really, Anne-Marie, what that told me was when they said.
这个记者呢问过当地的一些里面的那些陆军，这个现在是 FBI 介入了。Looking across the room as we were listening to the CBSN coverage earlier this morning. Marine 是水兵。
Across the room as to where he was going to shoot. He was calculated. He used a smoke grenade in order to either cloud people, disorient people. We don't know exactly what it was. I'm glad you're.
那个杀人犯的名字是一个叫农男的人。
Loud to disorient and to keep people shocked, so he could have gotten a greater count when it comes to actually discharging the firearm. So. When I heard that, it spoke tactical.
And what about this gun, this Glock 21 45 caliber gun with the extended chamber? What kind of gun is it? How easy is it to maneuver? How easy is it to hide?
It's relatively simple. It's not that heavy and it's not that big. Having that 10-round magazine, the magazine, if you figure, is about this big. One in the chamber. When an extended magazine, as the sheriff was saying, there are a variety of extended magazines, so it could have been 15 shots or more. We don't know. And we also don't know at this point, Emery, if he had other magazines with him. They haven't disclosed that. That's part of the forensic part, as Vlad was asking earlier. That's part of the forensic part of this investigation, because we're going to look right now to see shell casings and to see if they're the consistent shell casings or were there shell casings from other weapons we don't know about at this point.
You know, one of the questions Anne-Marie and I were asking other law enforcement officials as we were talking and other reporters is what the connection to this establishment was, and the fact that, you know, Carter just essentially revealed to us that it's just a couple of miles away. I want to play for our viewers some sound of the witnesses who survived this shooting and what they had to say. Some really moving sound from a couple of women who were able to escape the bar. Let's listen.
At the bar, you know, having fun, dancing, and then all of a sudden you hear like the bang bang of the gunshots, and it just started going crazy, and people were pushing. We thought it was a joke. We didn't take it seriously at first. It's kind of like you freeze because it sounded like firecrackers, and you kind of just like everyone just dropped down to the floor, and then again, so I thought it was a joke, and we couldn't get out because the shooting was on that side. So then our friends got the bar stools and they started slamming it against the window so we could get out.
It's okay, darling.
That's how we were able to get out. They broke the window. They broke the window.
现在这个人呢是一个幸存者，他是说枪杀的时候，他是从窗户里面逃出来的。
No, because it was like smoky in there as soon as it started shooting, so I couldn't really see much.
Did all of you and your friends get out okay?
We're still missing. We're still missing. We don't know. We don't know where they are. We haven't heard anything.
How many were you?
There's a big group of like 15 of us. It's a big group. We're like a family. We all know each other. We're all friends. We're all family.
听起来这个人的名字啊，有点像。
It's just absolutely heartbreaking to hear them because they're sort of still processing it as they're describing it, and as you can see, she's describing it and realizing and understanding what she and her friends just lived through. The realization starts to hit and they start to break down, and I'm going to keep sort of focusing on this connection that.
那么我们现在联系的是CBC 的啊，我们正在直播，现在 CBC 也在直播中。CBS 的。
Rest assured, Vlad, and I've been fortunate enough to work with you for a long time. We've done this before, and Anne-Marie, right? We've done this before. Without question, I will tell you unequivocally, when we go back, when we look at this 3 or 4 days from now, we're going to find he selected that particular location for a reason, he selected that day for a reason, and that time of the evening for a reason. There's no question about it. It's well calculated. Think of the tactical approach. Think of the planning that went into this, right? So he's, as the sheriff said, he didn't drive down the highway and decide he was going to pull in there. He went there for a reason. Now, it could have been the demographic of the individuals that were there. It could have speculated. It could have been the fact that there were a lot of college students there, and maybe he had some type of issue with college students. It could have been that he was a former Marine. There were other Marines there. Maybe there was an issue there. We don't know. Because one of the things we mentioned earlier, we still don't know how he was discharged from the military.
Right. Somebody asked the question,
and that's going to be part of the investigative process. And that's going to be part of the investigative process. Going back, how was he discharged? That's going to speak volumes. How was he discharged? That's going to speak volumes. It doesn't just happen. You said before during the break.
因为那个人呢，他是一个水军，同时呢是一个民主党，而且是有军队背景的一个人。
So all of this information right now, investigators are starting to focus on, break down who's going to be responsible for it, and we will learn more by tonight.
今天晚上我们才知道所有的真相。
You know, you hear PTSD, and people automatically speculate you have to somehow be suffering bad, or they met up with him in April. And I think people automatically assume that you have to somehow be in combat, or in order to suffer from PTSD. But I mean, in the military, you hear that, and sometimes, you know, you've heard, oh, well, you didn't even see combat, how can you be suffering from PTSD? But I mean, in the military, you hear that, and sometimes, you know, you've heard, oh, well, you didn't even see combat.
杀人犯是有军方背景的啊，曾经是参军过的。
Right here at CBS, think about what they just went through, right? They're going to be suffering. You mentioned it, Vlad. You know, the myriad of emotion from think about what they just went through to fear, to shock. And you mentioned it, Vlad. And you know, the myriad of emotion from disbelief to fear to shock.
We wrap this discussion up because this is America today. I want to play another little bit of sound. There were also individuals because this is America today. We in Las Vegas, you and I were in Las Vegas in the wake of that shooting, which happened in that bar. We're just a couple of days away from Vegas. You and I were in Las Vegas in the wake of that shooting, which happened. We're just a couple of days away from
everything I could to try and make sure that people coming out of the building were going in the right direction. Just did everything I could to try to make sure that people coming out of the building were going in the right direction.
那么现在枪杀这个人呢，已经杀了这个12个人，他的名字叫做大卫·农南。
That's 50 or 60 people. I hadn't heard before because the sound was really bad. We were in a journal and reporting this bar. 50 or 60 people. To me, and the way that he was sort of describing it as if it was, you know, you would think that he'd lead with that. Oh my God, I was in a shooting. And the way that he was sort of describing it as if describing it, you would think that he'd lead with that. Oh my God, I was in a shooting. Similar to this last year, it was sort of like he's describing the chances, the probability.
现在是一个紧急，是个紧急事件啊，紧急事件的紧急播出，紧急事件紧急播出。
Where the vehicle came, and one of the things that you said when we were covering the incident was, Lower Manhattan. I ride my bike where the vehicle came, and one of the things that you said when you were covering these things that we should expect. I ride my bike. When you see this, we see the worst in people. We see that. We also see the best in people. I also see cops. When you see this, we see in front of other people with shields. But we also see the best individuals like that. We see cops, off-duty cops that stood in front of other people with human shields. So as much as we saw individuals like that, regular citizens in a human being today, I think to help evacuate. We also saw some of the best. So as much as we saw the worst. Certainly because of that, fewer people were killed and injured. We also saw some of the best.
Police officers off duty.
Certainly because of that, fewer people were killed and injured in this incident.
Those police officers off duty, shielded patrons there, described in his press conference Ron Healis leaves behind a wife, shielded patrons there, and certainly Sergeant Ron Healis.
那么现在巡逻兵在附近在巡逻。
Ron Hosco, and also security analyst for CBS News, describing him the true definition. Ron Hosco, also security analyst for CBS News, describing him the true definition of heroism and valor.
Without question, God rest his soul.
Indeed.
也可能是海洛因在里面啊。
So coming up after the break, we're going to take a look at some of the other news happening today, including why Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is in the hospital right now. It's not that bad. She's going to be okay.
I was going to say, let's just make sure everybody knows she's okay.
Some fractured ribs. We'll tell you about it. And we're also taking a look at what lies ahead for the Mueller probe now that Attorney General Jeff Sessions has resigned and what the consequences could be for President Trump.
And we'll break that all down for you right here on CBSN. CBS News, always on.
这个小城市呢，大概是有12万人，在一个12万人的小城市啊。是在洛杉矶。我们始终不扮高深，我们力求直播传真。